Yo, what up, Nyakos? It's your buddy Philko here reporting live for your mama's house. Doing my thing as I usually do. You know that most hated dude with the incredible mood? That's me. And today I'm going to talk about this video that I saw on the Facebook link. The link will be in the description. And it's basically a video from the view of the police officer. It's a vest camera, body camera. And what happens is he walks up to a young man in a car, I believe even on this young man's property. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. He approaches this young man in the vehicle and he says, what's your name? And the guy's like, why? He goes, what's your name? He's like, Patrick. Which is true, that's his name. His name is Patrick. And then he goes, okay, step out the car, put your hands on the hood. Long story short, Patrick, who is not the guy in which they thought he was a man named Michael Clay, who has a warrant for his arrest. But that is not Michael. He's Patrick. He's actually Patrick. So he steps out the car for a second, but then he gets scared. Once they tell him, no, put your hands on the hood, he gets scared, and he jumps back in the car. He's like, oh, I just came back from my probation officer. You can't do this. He's screaming, not screaming, but he's like telling his friend, call my people. He's reaching for something. The cop's like, stop reaching, we're going to tase you. So from about 38 seconds after asking his name, they end up going for tasers, right? So they're arguing with him like, come out the car, just get out the car, whatever. He's like, no, man, no, y'all better leave me alone, no. Then I'm tasing him, whatever, blah, 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 getting into an argument and stuff. They take him out the car, they put him on the hood of the car, they search him, and they find his ID and his social security number and find out that he's actually not Michael Clay. He is Patrick, like he was saying. And then afterwards, the police officer is like, oh, if you would have just showed me your ID like I asked you, this wouldn't have happened. Which isn't true. The officer never asked for his ID. He asked him to put his hands on the hood of the car, right? And so the most unfortunate part about this is that now Patrick, which is what his real name is, could be in trouble. He could get into trouble. He now faces probation violation that could revoke his first offender status, because he was the first offender, and he could spend up to 7 years in prison. He could even he would have to drop out of college where he's pursuing his associate's degree, and which is all fucked up. But let me get to it. You go watch it. The video's not long at all. It's about, how long is it? It's about, I don't know, it's like 4 minutes long, okay? So the cop never asked him for ID, but he did ask him to put his hands on the hood of the car. Now I'm going to get to this from the start to the finish. When the cops approached this man, they thought he was someone else. To be honest, he does look like the person in which they thought he was. He does look like him. So they approach him asking for his name. So from here, I don't see anything wrong except the fact that the cops are inaccurate with who they think he is, although he does kind of look like this guy. These things do happen. These things happen. You can never be too sure. So they simply ask, what's your name? He says, Patrick's like, okay, put your hands on the hood of the car. Now, to me, a police officer asking you to put your hand on the hood of a car, that should be a risk for the police officer, and it shouldn't be a risk for the person putting his hands on the hood of the car. That's why I think body cameras are so important. I'll get to that later. So he doesn't put his hands on the hood of the car. He jumps back in the car and starts arguing. That was a bad move. That was a bad move. Let me tell you something. And I put this on my Facebook. Two of my friends back from my old hood, Kenny and Jason, these two are like the biggest criminals I knew from my area, who were younger than me. Only criminals bigger than them were older than me. We were fucking on the train, and this one day, police officers stop the train, get on the train, see me, and they say, you, step off the train. Now, I wasn't laying down, my feet wasn't on the chair, nothing like that, so I knew they thought I was someone else immediately. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I step off the train. Plain and simple, they said, you fit description or something. They put my hands behind my back. Fucking get no good music in this motherfucker. They put my hands behind my back and they say, where's your ID? I'm like, it's in my right front pocket. They go in my wallet, take out my ID. They see it wasn't me. Within 3 minutes of them saying, step off the train, I was waiting for the next train. They went away. Wrong person. That's it. Now, what kills me about this is that this guy, He had his ID in his pocket. He had his ID in his pocket. Now, an immature person would say something like, oh, but it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Do the cops fucking know that? What kind of retarded cop would just trust somebody saying, it's not me, and this is my real name? That's not evidence. Anybody can do that. But the fact that he had his social security number and his ID in his pocket should have been enough for him to realize, all right, if I put my hands on a car, they're going to search me, find my ID, and they're going to see it's not me. That's not what he did. What he did was kind of childish, unfortunately. Now, he definitely 100% does not deserve all that punishment they're giving him. 100% he doesn't deserve it. I mean, what he did, I think the tasing was enough for him to learn his lesson, like, hey, next time just comply, because when you don't comply, you're not going to win. That's what people don't understand. When the cops come up to you and ask you to do something, do it, because you're not going to win that fight. Only way you can win is afterwards, in court, after the arrest. That's how you win. You don't see mafia bosses fighting police. You don't even see the low-level mafia guys fighting the police, because they're smart. That's why these fucking Italian mafioso always crack jokes on black people about how they behave, because you niggas act fucking stupid. That's not how you behave around police officers, whether you're fucking low-time criminal or big-time. That's not how you behave. You don't just start fucking fighting because you think, oh, they're wrong, they're wrong. Show them the evidence and move on. Now, if you sit there and you say something like, oh yeah, what about the black people who get shot, who comply? Do you know how rare that is? Tell me right now, how often do you see a video of a black person getting shot for complying 100%? I've seen that one time, and that is when the black man was on the floor where he was next to the autistic child. He got shot for no fucking reason. That's the one time. The one time. That's the one time you can mention out of all the times black people run into situations with police, that one time. So like I always say, life is simple math. If you don't understand mathematics, you don't understand shit. So that is an extreme rarity, extremely rare. So that's not an excuse. It's like saying a person's not a, I'm not even going to get to more examples of that, but you understand. It's an extreme rarity that a person gets shot for doing absolutely nothing. That is an extreme rarity. It's usually even something small when they're not complying. When you're not complying, cops may take it wrong. Not saying they have the right to shoot all the time, but I'm saying, how often is it a person gets shot when absolutely complying? Extremely rare. And I'm sure it happens more to white people than black people, but because most of you guys just follow the news, you believe what the news show you is the only thing that's going on. What it's not. It's only what they want to show you because of views and ratings, okay? So what he did was very immature in my opinion, especially when he had the evidence in his pocket. You know what I mean? It's like, relax. Put your hands on the hood of the car. Because what's funny is that's what happened after they tased him and everything. They took him out the car. They put him on the hood of the car. They searched his pockets. They saw he wasn't him. They're like, oh, dude, it's not you. Like, what are you doing? Why are you acting like that? But the cop was lying. I don't know if he was lying or he was misquoting himself, but he was fucking up saying, I asked for ID like 4 times. No, you didn't. You asked him to put his hands on the car, maybe because you wanted to search him and find his ID, but you did not just ask for ID. He didn't. He lied. But he did ask him to put his hands on the hood of the car because they wanted to search him to see who he was. Now, I understand a lot of you may have something with police, but you gotta survive in this fucking world. If you wanna move on, spread your genes or whatever the fuck, you gotta survive. So fighting the police is fucking stupid. Unless it's some random ass cop coming out of nowhere like back in the 60s when they just start hitting you in the face with a billy club for no reason because you black. Yeah, punch him in the face. But this isn't the case. This isn't the case. Back then that was normal that a cop would just hit you because you're black, stick a dog on you because you're black, and they laugh about it. That's different. I understand fighting and kicking them in the nuts. I feel it. I die for that. Fuck it. I'm with you on that. But this isn't the goddamn case. These aren't cops who just wanted to attack this man. They didn't walk up to him punching him. It was like, hey, put your hands on the hood of the car. Am I the only one who just said, all right, put my hands on the hood of the car and wait for them to look at my ID and they see it's not me? Am I the only one who understands that I'm trying not to die right now and that is the smart thing for me to do? Not that like, oh, it's you. You're coming to jail with us 25 to life. That's not the case. You understand? So it's just, you guys got to realize you got to survive in this world. And you got to look at things from a logical perspective. Just because you say it's you doesn't mean shit. They don't know that. They don't fucking know that. He said it's not him. They don't know that. They need evidence. Life is simple fucking math. If you want somebody to believe something, most people who are logical will need evidence. They need evidence. You know, if you believe 30 plus 30 equals 60, show me. they need to see it. You understand? So, I mean, I really believe that's a good guy. Like, if you watch the video, I believe the black guy is a really good guy. He didn't mean no harm. He was just minding his fucking business. But what he did was extremely immature. It was so fucking childish. And I'm upset because now he's in trouble for something that was just childish. And in my opinion, he shouldn't be in trouble. The tasing and shit was enough. You know what I mean? But it was just a bad move. A lot of us act like fucking kids with this police shit. You know, they just want... Well, in this case, they just wanted to see his fucking ID. That's all they were trying to do. They didn't ask for it, but that's what they mean. Put your hood in the car. They want to search you. You know what I mean? Like when the cops cuffed me, legally, I don't even know if they were allowed to cuff me or not because I just looked like somebody. They put me in cuffs, then searched me, saw it wasn't me, then uncuffed me. But I understood. There was some guy who had a gun, so I'm like, all right, whatever. Shit was over in like 3 minutes. And I just went back on the train. I could have easily been this guy. Easily. I could have been on YouTube. Well, these things weren't that popular on YouTube 5 years ago. But I could have easily been this guy if I would have just said, no, I ain't getting off the train. You have the wrong person. My name's Philip. I'm not Dan or whatever. I'm not Dan. I'm Philip. You got the wrong person. Yeah, but you look like him. Get off the train. No, because I'm Phil. I'm not Dan. They got to come fight to get me off the train. That's fucking stupid. It's stupid. You know what I mean? So, that's all I got to say. And I'm out, niggas. Later.